Have you ever looked closely at the palm of your hand, not to read your fortune, but to listen for something deeper? Have you ever pressed your palms together and suddenly noticed a delicate curve, like a crescent moon appearing at the point where your palms meet? If so, pause for a moment, because you might be carrying an ancient signal from the universe, a quiet calling toward your true essence. Since ancient times, people have believed that the lines on our hands are not random. They are rivers of destiny, maps carved by life itself into the body, whispering reminders of where we come from and why we are here. Among these, the symbol of the crescent moon has always held a special place, a bridge between what we see on the surface and the inner journey into depth. You don't need to be an astrologer or a spiritual seeker to feel its presence. All it takes is the quiet sense that something about me is different, that there is a soft, persistent calling, not loud, not rushed, urging you to live more deeply, more truthfully, and to understand yourself more fully each day. If you've ever felt that, then perhaps the crescent moon in your palm is part of a soul memory you've carried from a past life, or a promise from a future you're already walking toward. This writing is not meant to be superstitious, nor to claim any absolute truth. It is simply an invitation to a new way of seeing. Perhaps your body, your palms, are quietly telling a story you've forgotten, a story of intuition, purpose, and of the quiet magic of creation still sleeping within you. Let the crescent moon lead you home to yourself, beginning with the faint lines on your palm, which just might hold an entire universe within. The crescent moon symbol, a bridge between body, mind, and spirit. We often see the palm of the hand as purely physical, a place of doing, working, and reaching outward into the world. But few realize that the hands also carry ancient spiritual symbols, containing within them subtle maps of each person's inner journey. Among these is the image of the crescent moon, which appears when you press your palms together and notice a fine, clear curve, is not a random mark, but a mystical symbol said to unite the three layers of our being: body, emotion, and soul. For thousands of years, the moon has held symbolic power in many cultures, a sign of transformation, intuition, and the cycles of life. The crescent moon in particular represents the moment of transition, between dark and light, between old and new. It is the phase in which the human spirit is most open to spiritual depth and unspoken emotion. When that very image appears on your palm, a place known in traditional wisdom as the convergence point of energy meridians, it may be a quiet signal. You carry within you the ability to sense dimensions beyond the physical world. The crescent moon does not just speak to who you are. It speaks to how you move between the visible and the invisible. You may not consciously realize it, but you've likely sensed things before they happened. You may not follow a specific religion, but you feel deeply connected to nature, to the moon and stars, and to the delicate shifts in the emotions of others. If this mark is present on your hand, you are being called to live a more profound life, not one is solely driven by outer goals, but one that turns inward, to listen, to transform, and to live in rhythm with your own natural cycle. The crescent moon in your palm is a sign. Your life is not only about form, it is a sacred journey of depth, where body, mind, spirit merge into one stream of being. 1. Extraordinary intuition. When feeling comes before logic. There are people who don't need clear reasons to know what's right or wrong. They don't need solid proof or a full explanation, because they feel the truth long before it's revealed. If you carry the crescent moon in your hand, you may be one of these rare individuals, those whose intuition functions like an inner compass, always pointing toward clarity, even when the outside world remains uncertain. Intuition is not magic. It's a deep sensitivity between consciousness and energy. Those with the crescent moon often perceive invisible frequencies around them: a fleeting glance, a half-formed sentence, a shift in the atmosphere. All of it speaks, and you hear it, even when others are still unaware. This gift allows you to be empathetic, understanding, and emotionally attuned. You don't just hear what's said, you hear the space behind the words. You don't just see the action, you sense the intention that gave birth to it. And that's what makes you the quiet healer, The intuitive friend, the guide leads with presence, not noise. But with this gift often comes a quiet kind of loneliness, because not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will believe in what you feel. Yet if you learn to trust that inner voice, you'll discover it's always right, even when the world doubts. The crescent moon on your palm is no accident. It's a reminder. Listen more with your heart and less with logic. Because the most important things in life are often the ones we can only feel, not explain. 2. A magnetic field that attracts positive people and opportunities. When you become an anchor of trust, there are people who walk into a room and instantly soften the atmosphere. They don't need to speak much or put on a show. With nothing but their energy, they make others feel safe, at ease, and heard. If you carry the crescent moon symbol in your palm, you may also possess an inner magnetic field, a gentle yet powerful energy that draws in light. This field is not some random miracle. It's the result of alignment between your inner energy and the natural vibration of the universe. When you live in harmony with your true self, with a sincere heart and an open mind, you emit a frequency that quietly attracts the good. People with this symbol often draw unexpected opportunities, uplifting individuals, and even fated encounters. Moments where a single meeting can alter the entire path ahead. It's not because they are luckier, but because they live in truth, and that truth creates a peaceful field where the universe wants to send its gifts. This ability doesn't require you to do more. It only asks that you remain authentic, listen to your intuition, and live in alignment with your core values. When you stop chasing control and focus on doing your part well, you'll begin to see what's meant for you will arrive, and those meant for you will show up. This positive field isn't just a gift, it's also a calling. People with this energy often serve as an invisible anchor for others. They are the place the weary go to heal, the quiet light for those who've lost their way. If you recognize this in yourself, don't doubt it, receive it, and keep radiating. 3. A deep connection to your life purpose. When you stop searching and start living in alignment. In a chaotic world, many people live their entire lives never knowing why they were born. But if you carry the crescent moon in your hand, you may have already sensed, deeply and clearly, you were not born just to survive. You came here to fulfill something meaningful. This connection to life purpose doesn't come from logic. It comes from an inner calling, a nameless feeling, or encounters that make you remember something you not was lost. When you stray from this purpose, life feels disjointed. But as you move toward it, everything begins to flow in ways that defy reason. The crescent moon is a symbol of cycles. It reminds us that every soul has its own journey. You don't have to become someone grand. You simply have to live truthfully from your deepest self. And in doing so, you've already fulfilled a sacred task. Those who carry this sign are often drawn to paths of helping, creating, healing, or inspiring. They cannot endure a life without meaning, because they were born to live with direction. If you carry this symbol, take time to listen. What lights you up inside? What activity makes you lose track of time? What do you keep doing, even when tired, because you can't help but care? That answer is not out there. It's already within you, where the crescent moon quietly whispers every day, you were born to live as your true self, and only then can the world receive the gift you were meant to bring. 4. Extraordinary creativity and the power to transform. When you see opportunity where others see dead ends. One of the most refined gifts of those who carry the crescent moon mark is the ability to think beyond the mold, to create from chaos and to be reborn through adversity. You are not simply imaginative. You see new possibilities within the old, opportunities in crisis, and invisible doors where others only see walls. Creativity, in this case, isn't limited to art. It's how you see the world. It's how you respond to change. It's how you emerge different after every fall. When life corners you, you don't collapse. You quietly transform. Like the moon, never gone, only hidden, waiting to return brighter. You might be the one who always seeks solutions instead of complaints. The one who turns pain into pages, into paintings, into inspiration. The one unafraid to change direction, as long as that path aligns with your heart. And you do all of this not with effort, but with a quiet, natural rhythm, as if it's your very breath. What matters most is this: your creativity comes from depth, not from the surface effort, but from an inner current longing for renewal, not to impress, but to live more truthfully. Your transformation isn't loud, but it's steady. You are someone who is reborn many times in one lifetime, and each time you break, you bloom. If you bear the crescent moon in your hand, trust this: you are not merely creative. You are creativity itself in motion. And every time you dare to live differently, you help the world expand just a little more. The crescent moon in your palm is not just a beautiful detail. It is a subtle signal from the universe that you carry something rare, a unique mission, and a life path that cannot be replicated. You don't need to try to become someone else. You simply need the courage to follow the deepest call within. In a world filled with noise, where people chase the light outside, you are being invited to follow the light within, the light of intuition, of honest emotion, of the quiet yearning to live authentically. Even if that path is different, even if it's silent, trust this: the universe does not leave markings on your body by accident. Every line is a map, every symbol is a message. And if you've seen the crescent moon, then you've already been called. The question is no longer, is it real? But rather, am I willing to step into the journey of returning to myself? Because in the end, living in alignment with your true essence is not a luxury. It is the highest gift you can offer to yourself and to this world.